every year.
Get your motor running. Head out on the highway, looking for adventure, and whatever comes our way.
We're 93 years old. We can't wait to 2003. We're going to be 100 years old. We're going to have a rip snorting celebration. Do come back and help us celebrate 100 years. Okay. It actually all started in 1901. A young man in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, by the name of Bill Harley, complained to his parents it was too much work to pedal his bicycle down the back streets of Milwaukee. Now, we don't know if it's a true story or not, but we've heard it about 500 times. His mother's supposed to have said, "You're a smart young man, change the situation." Might be a story, I don't know. Anyhow, Bill did some research, this we know. He found out people had been trying since 1825 to put an engine on a set of wheels. No one had done it successfully. Daimler, who started Mercedes-Benz, had a motorcycle. He gave it up, saying it wasn't practical. Bill Harley in 1901 got his three best friends, the three Davison boys, all in their early teens, or late teens rather. They worked evenings and weekends. Took them 2 years to build their first engine. Had it ready to go in 1903. The problem then was, what were they going to put the engine on? Rather than build a new frame, they chose deliberately to go with a bicycle frame, okay? This happens to be a 1906 American bicycle. If they had had the word in 1903, you call them a moped. That's what they were. They didn't have the word, they called them motorcycles. That stuck. Okay, first engine 1903, 25 cubic inch, 3 horsepower. Not very big. If you've seen a gasoline-powered push mower, they have a bigger engine than this first bike. They tell us the first carburetor cover was made from a used tomato soup can. The first spark plug in 1903 supposedly was the size of a doorknob. We look back from 93 years and we wonder how or why that motorcycle ran, but it did run in 1903. Now, to get the motorcycle started in 1903, excuse me, young man, if you will, jack the back wheel up off the ground so the back wheel can run freely. Pedal with your pedal till your engine's running, give it a few shots of gas, tighten up the belt, take up a stand and go for a short ride. Can you handle that, sir? I don't know about you. Well, top speed in 1903 was about 7 miles an hour going downhill. Okay. Just that bike should sell for $16,000. I don't think you can buy it for that price. Okay. Now, if you don't like that bike, you don't have to like it. I mean, how about, ma'am, we move just a hair, ma'am, so we can see that beautiful bike. That's your bike, isn't it, ma'am? Isn't that yours, huh? That's the Buell bike. You all know what Buell is? Buell was an engineer for Harley, left to form his own company, makes racing bikes. We own part of the company now. We're selling Buell bikes. That's his 1997 hot bike, the SI S1 Lightning. That's been clocked at 142 miles an hour. Now, if you don't like the Heritage Springer for $16,000, you're going to have that bike for $9,999. Which one do you want, sir? I had you paid for the Buell. Okay, let's move to the next room, please. As you walk you're good people, not from Sweden now, but from America. Do they have TV in Sweden? Sure they do. You do have TV in Sweden. But you can't get all our channels, can you? Can you get an American movie channel?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Look out, sir, you got it. You got me. If you watch American movie channel, yeah, come on in, folks. Come on in. Watch American movie channel, an old movie of Marlon Brando riding a bike. This is the bike he rode. Marlon had one of these, Steve McQueen, Jimmy Dean. We think Elvis did, we can't prove that. Now, to me, this is the 1960 bike, a beautiful machine, 1958. Took the roll bars off, gave it lots of chrome and a fancy paint job. Did you know?
Is this one stock?
Pardon?
Is it one stock?
Yes, it's for that 1 year, yes, sir. You may or may not know Harley had a motorcycle in Italy for 20 years, right outside of Rome, Aeronautica Mach-E. Built this bike in 1961, the Italian Sprint. Now, a nice machine, but it's a single cylinder. If you're content with a single cylinder, this is a nice machine. What makes this bike very, very valuable, this is the only motorcycle Harley built since 1926 through 1997, does not have a teardrop gas tank. Here's your teardrop gas tank. They left the Italian tank on it. The bike's worth its weight in gold. Little bike to your right over there is the smallest bike Harley ever. 1977 lowrider. Willie G, we'll see Willie G later. He designed this in 1977. The first factory custom designed machine. You have a motorcycle, sir?
No.
Who's got a motorcycle? You. I'm going to pick on you, sir. What, pray tell, is this?
Battery, actually.
Well, now, which is it, sir? Help me out here. He thinks it's the battery. You agree, sir? It is the battery. Are you a grandmother yet? I'm being very nosy. Huh? Okay. I had a lovely grandmother here. You know what she said this was? This is her cosmetic kit full of cleaner. I had a high school senior. This was these were discs for his CD player. It is the battery. The first year they left the battery case transparent plastic so you could see the cells. So next year they closed it in. Okay, beautiful bike, 1977. The white bike behind you is our police machine. Been making that model since 1977. Also, that's the bike the police department get. The Shriners also get the same bike. The Shriners don't get the fancy equipment the police get. Now, that's an old bike. We're still making the same model. This is probably the most famous bike we have in the museum. I'll see how old you are here. This belonged to the late, great Malcolm Forbes of Forbes magazine. Now, Malcolm was a multi-millionaire, had about 61 to 100 bikes. This was his favorite machine. The bike's been around the world 5 times. A little bit strange, though. Money does that to you. He would not start a motorcycle anywhere in the world until the American flag was flying. The 45 bikes he bought from us, we had to put a special bracket on here to carry the American flag. He also had to wear his red capless tool vest or he wouldn't ride the bike. There's this picture, he got his vest on. Now, I can't prove this. Bikers have told me, if you would have stopped at Malcolm's home in New Jersey before he died with your motorcycle, he'd fill your gas tank, take you for a ride, and buy you supper. If you made 2 promises. Promise to wear the vest and follow the flag. Would you do it, sir, for a free meal?
Sure.
I would too. Okay. Now, he also was a hot air balloon enthusiast. Just before he died, he built a 200-foot long Heritage Softail hot air balloon. Now, it's still flying. If you're ever out on the highway and see a red Softail going through the sky, don't panic. We're just flying them out in a balloon. Say what you will, a great American. Every place the man went, he pushed Harley-Davidson motorcycles. We miss him very much. Look behind you over here is our Thomas Falcon. There's 4 of the 13. The chap on the far right is Willie G. Davison. He's been our chief designer for almost 30 years. Now, Willie G's granddad, William A., was one of the 4 founders of the company. Willie G. grandson discovered granddad's favorite bike was 1932 olive drab and orange. So grandson took granddaddy's bike, completely reworked it for 1981. They only had time to build about 900 of these, but it helped turn the company around. Okay. When we get into the factory in about 5 years, this is a rare one. Now don't give it away, sir. Now come on down where you can see this bike. Now, in America we have a crazy thing called a Super Bowl Sunday. It's coming up in 2 weeks, big football game. This is the Super Bowl bike for 1989 Super Bowl 23. They had a halftime show that year, a rock and roll theme. An Elvis imposter, not Elvis now, an Elvis imposter sat on this seat, drove this white bike twice around the football field solo. When he was done, 105 black machines came out at exhibition riding. Nice halftime show. They had asked us to build 107 bikes for Super Bowl. We said we'd be glad to, good publicity. Then they said they wanted 2 all-white ones. We panicked. We were 86 years old, had never built a solid white bike, white metal and white leather. They built 2. Milwaukee says they'll never build any more. They haven't since. We owned this one. This was the actual bike on the football field. The second bike was the backup in case this broke down. This did not break down. They auctioned that bike off to dealers. A chap in Florida has that second bike. They tell me he has less than 8 miles on it. If you decide to sell that, sir, you'll have some big bucks. Okay. Super Bowl 89 for $14,500. You can't touch this today for less than $20,000. What do you get for him? When do we get cruise control? Got to have cruise on your bike. Don't ride a bike without cruise control. You got to have leather seats. That goes with it. Now, stereo. 4 speakers, 2 for the driver, 2 for the passenger. Okay. Open this up. You have an AM, FM radio, stereo cassette tape deck. No CD yet. That may be coming. I have a 40-channel CB radio. I have an intercom so the driver can talk to the passenger. Okay. Someone bought the bike. They're cruising down the highway. They're driving. They're significant. Other back here. Listen to tapes of Willie Nelson. Can you handle that, Americans? Country music, Willie Nelson, okay. You want to talk to your passenger. You're talking to your helmet. Willie stops singing. As long as you talk, there's no music. You're going down the highway, you stop for a stoplight, you rev your engine, the music gets louder to cover up the noise of the engine. You slow your engine down, the music gets softer. You ought to buy this bike, man. You're not interested? Everybody going to the factory with me?
Yep.
Okay, now we got a little problem.